You need to decide to be profitable. I still today feel the judgment that others make around money. I failed math at school. I was not a math expert. You don't look at your bank account. You delay doing any budgeting. You delay paying bills. Money needs a plan. And if you want to be profitable and you want to reach the $1 million business and you want to have success and have $1 million mindset, then we have to. 6 months out of my apprenticeship, I had just turned 20 and I opened my salon. There was just me, 2 employees, my senior apprentices, in fact, who had trained me. In today's episode of the Salon Owners Collective podcast, I want to talk about the 5 lessons to the $1 million mindset, because these are the keys that I learned about building $1 million businesses. So bear with. My mum was a teacher, primary school teacher, and my dad ran a business. It's kind of no accident that I'm here running business programs, business education for the hair and beauty industry. And I nearly became a preschool or primary school teacher myself. I loved the idea of shaping minds, and I loved being around 5-year-olds. When I was sick and I couldn't go to school, I can't have been that sick, because I went with my mum to her classroom and I would just love to be with the 5-year-olds and really making an impact and caring for those cute as kids. In any case, I chose hairdressing as my career of choice, mostly because I could go straight into the workforce and not have to go back to school, to teachers' college. Good choice that I made. But I think the combination of my mum and my dad's influence really is what led me to Salon Owners Collective. And along the way, I've learned several lessons. And when building a $1 million mindset, one principle that I want you to really harness and take note of is this: money does make the world go round. I can hear your cogs turning. What do you mean, Larissa? It's not all about the money. Well, I beg to differ. Money does make the world go round. It's called currency. It's what makes life flow. Money flows in so we can flow it out to do things in our lives, lifestyle, important things, connection with people. It gives us life. Money does make the world go round. And the challenge is, I think, is that there's a lot of judgment and shame, and there's a lot of mindset around money that really can hold us back. And so I want to just step into that for a moment. I think as my mum was an immigrant and came from the Netherlands, and her parents had been through the war and a lot of scarcity, not a lot of money, there wasn't food to go around. And then as new immigrants in a new country, you don't know a lot of people and it's hard to make ends meet. And all of those beliefs kind of were part of my, money doesn't grow on trees, Larissa. And my mum was very smart with money, but there was never a lot of money. She was a single mum raising 2 children. And even though my dad was very present, money wasn't of bountiful amounts when I was growing up. And I took that mindset into the early days of my business, and I still today feel the judgment that others make around money. Things like, well, it's all right for you, isn't it? And well, when we're booking a holiday to go overseas, well, where's our ticket? What about us? All of those types of sideways remarks, they get in, they rub in eventually. And it can really settle into our own money beliefs. When I was in my early 20s, so I started my salon at 20, and I was flatting with a couple of great gals. They worked for me, we lived together, we partied together, and we had a great time until we didn't. And as my business grew and I started to make money and I needed to start making more important decisions about my business rather than based on the social life, I started to become the outsider in that circle. And eventually I needed to move out. So not only was I subject to judgment around money, I also became the outsider because of being in business and because of money. And the lesson here, I think, is that we are the sum of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. And so at some point, I made the hard decision to move out of that flat and kind of move away on my own. And I have to say that over the years, I've made several of those decisions to move up or level up. And with deep respect, I can love and respect the people that I spent time with, but also embrace the new version of me as my business grows. I want you to remember, if you're not where you want to be in your business right now, and think about who you surround yourself with and the impressions and the judgments and the comments that people around you make. You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with in your life. So let's just dig into money mindset just for a little bit, because I think there are 7 different mindsets that you might be aware of to what you're holding in your mind and what might be holding you back from reaching the $1 million mindset. So let's just touch on those for a moment. Number 1 is scarcity. Now, I want you to think, as I go through these 7, which one is most like you and how is it serving you? Is it serving you positively or negatively? So number 1 is scarcity. And we believe that money is in short supply. And there may be fear around spending money or investing in money, and you're likely to hoard resources, hoard the cash, because you don't want to spend it because no more is coming in. And this often can lead to missed opportunities for growth. Avoidance is the next one, and this is when we can find people avoiding dealing with money altogether. Like, put your head in the sand and just ignore the money. You don't look at your bank account. You delay doing any budgeting. You delay paying bills or making any financial decisions. And the disorganization around money can lead to money stress. The third one is impulsive spending money without thinking through consequence, and really looking for that emotional or instant gratification that you feel great when you spend. Often someone with an impulsive spending mindset might have difficulty saving for future goals because we spend it as much as it comes in. Another mindset that you might relate to is risk aversion, a reluctance to make financial decisions, such as buying clothes. I had a girlfriend that we would go shopping together, and I would always buy the thing and make a decision on the spot, and she would think about it for, weeks on end, and 9 times out of 10, she wouldn't go back and make the choice. So risk aversion is reluctance to make financial decisions, and often it can limit opportunities of wealth building. Another mindset you might relate to is money as an identity, where people find their self-worth and how much money that they have. This can often lead to overworking, because they want to be perceived as being wealthy or successful rather than actually making decisions based on what's best. Another is money guilt. Have you ever felt guilty about the money that you have or spending money? This is common if there isn't a lot of money in your background. You don't come from wealth, and maybe you avoid enjoying the money that you're making, feeling undeserving of financial success, especially if those around you don't have the financial success that you might be experiencing with having a business. An abundance mindset. Someone who has an abundance mindset believes that there's plenty of money to go around and there are plenty of opportunities. Money comes in, money goes out, but there's always new money flowing in. And so we're more likely to take a risk and invest in ourselves or see setbacks as temporary. There's always more money to be made. This mindset encourages a bit more of a growth-focused approach to finances. So I want you to have a think about, which one is you, which did you resonate? Maybe there's a couple. And is it serving you? And is it serving you positively? I'm keen to know. So I want to encourage you to come away from judgment, from scarcity, being impulsive or maybe risk adverse, or even having guilt around money. And I want to invite you to adopt the money makes the world go round mindset so you can really step into having a $1 million mindset. I want to share with you now a couple of key strategies, 5 in fact, around building a $1 million mindset. Because for myself, throughout my 20s, when I opened my salon at 20, I would say, an impulsive spending habit. I didn't have a good habit of saving money. I could save money, but it was short-sighted. And so I can see now when I look back that I had money comes in, it must go out. I would save well for rent and for short-term gratification, but not for the long term. And I didn't understand that having money in the bank was actually the goal. And so while I didn't make a lot in my 20s, I also spent a lot. And so I spent everything that I made. In my 30s, I had a lot of abundance, a lot of success, but I hadn't really overcome the impulsive spending behavior. And I still didn't understand like keeping money in the bank was actually kind of a really important goal. And so I made a lot, but I spent a lot. And I also was a little bit short on time because although I was reasonably free from the business, I'd made myself redundant in a lot of ways. I had 2 young children and I'd started another business. And so I had a lot of money, but I didn't have a lot of time. It was a little bit overwhelming. In my 40s, I had a lot of money. I was smart with money. And I had to learn to get smart and get intentional about what I was doing with money because I also chose to sell my business and start a new one. And so I was back to the beginning of building new, not having a lot of money coming in, although once you're a little bit more set up and in your 40s, you've got a lot more to lose. In my 20s, I had 0 to lose. Like if it was all terrible and it went to custard, I could move back with my parents. But at 40, I was the parent. I couldn't go back and move in with my parents. I had a responsibility to my own family. And so that put a different frame over building success and building money. Hey, it's me again. I just wanted to interrupt and jump in here quickly to say thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate you being here. Just one question though. If you are listening to this episode and thinking, oh my God, this is me, but I'm just not sure what to do, well, don't worry. I've got some strategies for you. The Salon Mastery Program will help you develop and implement a 100K team, 100K mindset, strategies and steps designed to help you lead your team to enjoy 100K careers and install the 100K mindset and motivation so you can help build that inside of your team. The systems, the processes to master the 100K day so you can build the $1 Million Salon. So I want to invite you to join me for a complimentary $1 Million strategy call. We'll discuss your business, your role in the business. Let's see if I'm the right person to help you grow your business and your team. Together, we can reach the $1 Million mark. All you need to do is click the Apply Now button in the show notes of this very episode. You're welcome to book a time, a strategy call. We'll have a chat. All right, that's enough for me. Let's get back to the episode. I'm now in my second decade of living through my 40s once again. And I've got some lessons that I want to share with you to move forward. So let's talk about building $1 million mindset. I've got 5 keys to share with you. Number 1 is you need to decide to be profitable. I remember the day that I was sitting at my desk. I had rented a little office above the salon. There wasn't a office space in the salon. It was busy. We had 20 people in a really small space. So I rented this office and everyone had gone home for the day. I was in the office doing nothing less than what I would call grinding it out. I was tired, I was hungry, and I was pushing through the pain of just getting shit done because I needed to make success. And I stopped and I thought, what the heck am I doing, Larissa? You are grinding it out. You're tired and exhausted and you're still pushing, but you're not making any money. And it was that day that I decided to prioritize profit. I wrote it on a Post-it note and I put it on the wall. And it was that day that I decided, come hell or high water, I needed to prioritize profit. Because if I'm going to work that hard, I need to not feel resentful about the work that I'm putting in. Because if you get paid well and there's a reward for the work that you do, then you're quite happy to either work hard until you learn how to work smart. So step number 1 is decide to be profitable and let that be the leading focus. So number 2 in building $1 million mindset is remove the money trauma. We went through 7 money mindsets, 6 of which for the most part probably are working against you. And there's only one, an abundance mindset, that is going to allow you to grow $1 million business. And so all I can say is if you've got money trauma and some things came up for you as I spoke about those 7 different mindsets, then you've got some work to do. And you need to do the frickin' work. Do the work on the mindset first, because your business will only ever grow to the success of the person that you become. You'll never be more successful than the person that can run a business of that success. So do the work, remove the money trauma, whatever you need to do to remove the money trauma. I've got a couple of podcasts actually where I interview a couple of money mindset guests. They've been guests inside of our Salon Mastery Program and run through some really deep workshops, but there are also some podcasts if you want to dig those out. Number 3 is become a data-driven salon CEO. Like, the numbers give you the confidence to make smart decisions. Now, just for context, I failed math at school. I was not a math expert. But if you want to grow a successful business, you need to know the numbers and how they work. They're not actually that scary. Unless you have numbers dyslexia. Now, forgive me for those that might have this and understand the word. I forget what the word is called, but there is a version of dyslexia that's specifically around numbers. And unless you have that, there's no excuse to just getting over it and learning how to do the numbers. Because otherwise you're trying to tell me that you want to be a race car driver, but you can't read the dashboard. And so you don't want to know if there's petrol in the car. You don't want to know when they're going to run out of oil, and you're not prepared to read the map, but you want to win the race. Well, if your car blows up because it ran out of oil because you didn't look at the dashboard, then who's to blame? Well, it's you. So you need to get over the numbers and do the work to learn just how to read the numbers. To be honest, numbers are pretty straightforward, and they always equal something. Like 2 + 2 always equals 4. It's black or it's white. There's no guesswork. There's no interpretation. Like, communication is more confusing than numbers, to be quite clear. Because you can use different words that can be very confusing and have multiple meanings, but the numbers always mean the numbers. 2 and 2 is always 4. So learn the numbers. Get over them. They're not actually that hard. If I can fail math and be terrible at school, then so can you. You can get over the numbers. They give you the confidence in your decision making. They sanity check your gut instinct. And it's so black and white that it'll always tell you what you need to do next in your business. So when it comes to doing the numbers, my next step is called DTFW. Do you know what that stands for? Do the Fricken Work. I'm too polite to say the real F word. So do the frickin' work. And the things that we need to do in terms of getting that dashboard is you need a CEO dash that you understand. What are your margins and your business margins telling you? It will always tell you what to do next in your business. Key performance indicators are the numbers of how you're performing. How are your team members performing? How is the business overall performing? And what levers can you move, can you pull to make the income different? Like, how can we make the money go up? Key performance indicators will help the money go up. The CEO dash will help the profit fall out the bottom. The next 2 are your pricing method. You need to have profitable pricing, because if you have half of your services that are unprofitable and the other half are profitable, then the unprofitable ones are stealing all the profit off the profitable services, and doesn't matter how busy you get, you can never be profitable. So you need to have your pricing in order. And the last one that not everybody talks about is profit. Profit actually has a job. You need a profit system. And what I mean by that is, just because you have profit doesn't mean that you take it home and put it in your back pocket and take it back to the family. Have you ever had your end of year accountant give you the accounts and said, you made this much profit? And you're like, well, where is it? Where is the profit? Profit has a job. It is not the end of the trail. You don't get to keep everything that falls out the bottom, because half of you are wondering where the heck it is. So you need to understand profit and understand the profit system, and which part of the profit do you get to keep and to take. All right, to become a data-driven CEO. The 4th $1 million mindset step is money needs a purpose. Now, I learned this off a money mindset coach, and that is that money needs really clear goals. You need to have clear personal goals. You need to have business goals, financial goals, and to have the bank accounts to go along with it. In a perfect world, you'd have anywhere between 5 and 15 bank accounts to run your business or to run your home. And when you have clarity around what you're saving for, what you're moving towards, and you have a good money management system, money needs a purpose, then you know that you can reach your financial goals. I think it's really wrong for us to believe that if we serve our clients well, the money will come. I think that belief should not exist. We need to get rid of that one. Money needs a plan. And if you want to be profitable and you want to reach the $1 million business and you want to have success and have $1 million mindset, then we have to let go of that one. Money needs a plan. It needs a purpose. And you need a really clear budget for it. Last but definitely not least is sales mastery. And so the fifth $1 million mindset step is sales mastery. I believe that selling is serving and serving is selling. It's kind of like one and the same. And we have to get comfortable with the concept of selling, because really selling is just making it easy to do business with you. Your job is to help your clients make a good decision, like make a decision. And I know that we think we're consulting and that we're helping, but unless you help the client make a final decision, you're only just giving her information. There is so much choice in this world. The hardest thing for people to do is decide. And sometimes the decision is, no, I don't want to buy that. But you've helped them make a decision. But you've helped them make a decision. And so serving is selling. And your job is to make it easy to do business with you by helping her make the right choice. And when you give your client all of the information in front of them, that they can make a good decision between foils and a global, or between this skincare and that skincare, or between this home care choice and that home care choice. When you give her an option to come at 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you're giving her a choice, and then your job is to help her decide. Not to not decide, which is just making no decision and walking out the door with nothing. We have so much choice in 2024 and beyond, like choices are only becoming more. Have you ever had that experience when you've been ready to sit down to watch a movie and the family gets around Netflix and we're like, come on guys, let's watch a movie. And you spend the whole of the time eating dinner just trying to decide what to watch? This is my family all the time. It frustrates the heck out of me. We're finished our dinner by the time we've decided what to watch. And so family movie night just becomes this sort of, I don't know, it's not a good experience. And do you know the reason is? I don't know how many movies there are on Netflix, but there's got to be thousands. And when you have too many choices, do you know what happens? The average human makes no choice, like zero choice. And so when you say to her, what do you want to do with your hair today? She doesn't know the answer. You've got to give her simple choices. People can choose between 2 or 3 options, and that's like make it easy to do business with you. Narrow the choices, give them all of the information, and then help them make a decision. Selling is serving and serving is selling, but ultimately is helping your clients make a good choice. And that's as simple as sales are. That's all it is. I think if you're going to have sales mastery, you need to have a scoreboard of success. And the numbers are just the scoreboard of happy clients. So the higher your average client spend, or the higher your rebooking, or the higher your retention number, that is telling you that more of your clients are making happy choices. The numbers are just the scoreboard for success, and you can't know if you're winning unless you're tracking the scoreboard. All right, so let's just recap. What are our 5 disciplines of $1 million mindset? Number 1, you've got to decide you want to be profitable. Number 2, you've got to remove money trauma. Number 3, become a data-driven salon CEO. Let the numbers tell you what to do. Like have the discipline to be numbers-driven. Number 3, money needs a purpose. If you've run out of goals or you don't have any, go and get one. Go and make one. Doesn't matter if it's not the right one. Just having something to give you a North Star to point towards. You can change your mind along the way, but money needs a purpose and you need to have a goal. And number 3 is have sales mastery. Understand that your role as a successful business owner, but also as a successful stylist or therapist, is just to help people make good decisions. Give them the information and help them choose. Not choosing is a failure. All right. The last thing I want to leave you with actually is this. Nothing else matters if the ends don't meet. Like if the money doesn't meet inside of your business, if the money doesn't work, Nothing else matters. You can run all of the team workshops, you can give them all of the training, you can open more hours and have more team, but if the money doesn't meet, if the ends don't meet, nothing else matters. And you have to prioritize. Money does make the world go round, so you can have the $1 million mindset. Right, hey, if you want the money to go up and your goal is to become $1 million salon or whatever that goal is, and you need help making the money go up, then my invitation to you is let's jump on a call. It's called a strategy call. You can tell me about your business. You can tell me about how you work inside of your business. What are your goals? Who are your team? And let's make a bit of a strategy plan. Maybe I'm the right person to help you achieve that goal. Maybe Salon Mastery is the right place for you. I'm going to leave a link in the show notes of this episode. If you want to jump on a call, that's my invitation to you. Otherwise, look forward to connecting with you same time, same place on the podcast. Ciao for now.